好，
好久不见了
um,
哈。嗯
okay, so I guess just like a short introduction first. I'm Diana. I'm a senior at High School North. 我明年去 Princeton 大学上学。我在学校弄 MUN 弄了4年，我现在是学校的 president. Yeah. Okay, so 我做了一个 PowerPoint，可是现
You
在
want to share
看
screen?
吗 Yeah. My computer is just acting up right now. It's being a little bit slow. Okay. I'm just gonna wait for that to load and just start off. So MUN is basically, for those of you who don't really know what it is, it's kind of like a simulation of the United Nations. So it's kind of like trying to recreate what people are doing in the United Nations. But it's kind of a more competitive version of that. So like Model United Nations is a primarily high school competition. That's where the main focus is. And then you have a lot of middle school students who will join the competition. And there's also a college competition for that. So it spans a lot of years of participation. So basically, okay. Yeah, so basically, this is a very highly competitive competition, which requires the use of so it requires the use of public speaking skills, the ability to socialize, and kind of interact with other people and act as a leader. All right, can everyone see my screen, or I don't know if this is working or not.
Yes, I can see it very well.
All right.
I cannot see the screen.
Ooh, okay, let me see if there's anything else.
I can.
Is the person who said they couldn't see it on, like, I don't know, mobile?
I'm right now on my computer.
Yeah, then. Okay, I'll like read out the slides, so anyone who like can't see it should also be able to figure out. I don't know why my computer's being so weird right now. All right, I'm just gonna keep going. Yeah, so basically it requires a lot of public speaking skills. So obviously MUN is known as a debate club, and you have to be able to, as the end product, make speeches, be able to answer questions about solutions that you've come up with. And like the ability to speak in public and debate and kind of present your own ideas is not something that is an inherent talent. So I feel like some people think that public speaking is just something that you can do. Like you're just born with this talent. And that's just simply not true. So like for myself, I would say that all the way up to 8th grade, like I was just absolutely terrible at public speaking. I was so scared of talking in front of people. And like, I remember like running for student council in middle school and like going up for a speech and just being so scared and like having no idea what I was saying. And like, as I got into high school and started training for MUN, you begin to learn the skills of public speaking. And a lot of it is being able to be confident in what you're saying. So like, I think that like MUN is a great way to learn how to be able to speak in public, to learn how to be able to speak in front of very large crowds. So like there's multiple types of committees in MUN, and the largest ones can go up to 300 people, and you will be standing in front of a crowd of 300 people and giving like a 1-minute speech about why you think your solution is going to fix like world hunger or something like that. And it sounds very intimidating, but like if you're able to force yourself to learn how to do MUN, that's something that will come very naturally to you. You won't give a second thought about it. So yeah, this is a very competitive environment. Most competitions are 4-day conferences, which are hosted by the really big universities: Princeton, UPenn, Harvard, Cornell, Georgetown, GW. There's so many. And these are all hosted by top tier universities, Ivy Leagues, things. And then you have 1-day conferences, which make very good trainers, and they're hosted by the best high schools in the circuit. So you have High School North, High School South, the Dalton School, Thomas Jefferson, JPS. So like that's a broad view of places that people go to. Okay. So yeah, skills that you learn: leadership, debating, public speaking, collaboration, and global awareness. So working down this, leadership and kind of it goes hand in hand with collaboration. A huge part of MUN is working with other people to create a document, which is going to be called your working paper or a resolution, and it outlines all of your solutions to this broad general topic that you're talking about. So I think one of the biggest things you learn in MUN is how to be a leader. And it's not the kind of leader where you see people like being aggressive and like doing sneaky things and becoming like number one. It's the kind of leadership where like people will respect you out of your own virtue. And people listen to what you say because it has value. And that's something that develops out of MUN. Again, I talked about public speaking. Global awareness, obviously Model United Nations is a simulation of the United Nations. So you get to study a lot of really interesting topics that like some of which you might not have even heard of, that you didn't realize were problems. But you get to analyze topics from all around the world. And it's so diverse. And I'll get into the diversity of these topics a little bit later. So like all of the pictures that I have in the slideshow are images taken from my own experiences at MUN. So here, this picture is at the Ivy League Model United Nations Conference. This is during a Q&A session. So again, this is part of the public speaking part where after you write this document about all of your solutions that you think are going to like tackle the topic, you go up to the stand. You're standing in front of everyone, and like the people in the audience just like pelt you with questions about your solution, and you have to be able to answer them right off the bat, like no previous scripting, just go for it. So again, like this really hones your skills for public speaking. All right. And I usually don't go too much into this for introduction ones, but I think this is actually a very important part after having applied for college. MUN is very valuable during the college process. And I think that that value is something that a lot of people don't really see. So obviously MUN has inherent value as the competition. So like you're able to win a lot of awards, and that, you know, looks nice and everything. But like when colleges see MUN on your resume, or they see that you've participated in the competition, that tells them that you have and are successful in applying all of the previous skills that I was talking about. Being able to be a leader, being innovative, be able to talk in public. And like that speaks volumes to these colleges, especially knowing how competitive how competitive the competition is. And then beyond that, like the skills that you learn really, really help in college interviews and like learning about topics. So like college interviews are very, very much like question and answer sessions during MUN. They're very, very much like block building, which is what we call interacting with other people during the conferences. And that helps you be extremely comfortable in, like talking to these interviewers. And then it also shows them that you have profound thinking and a more open worldview. So what that means is kind of like you have a broader understanding of the world, so that when you are talking to your interviewer or when you're writing your essays, you're able to take into account like these situations from all over the world and apply them to kind of apply them to your life. So that's something that really helps with like essay writing, interviewing. So again, like MUN is very valuable to colleges. Okay, so moving on from that, what you can get from joining. Again, like as I said, you can improve your public speaking and writing skills. Then you can form a passion for interesting topics. So that's what I said I was going to get back to about global awareness. So in MUN, you have really different types of topics that you discuss, and some of them might be out of like some people's comfort zones, might be things that people didn't even realize was a topic of discussion, and it really broadens your horizons. So I have some examples here: human trafficking, the NASA space race, the rise of Islamic regimes. In your big committees, you have topics, like ISIS, you have topics like drug trafficking. And then sometimes in the smaller committees, you also have very focused topics like communism in India, or I'm trying to think, like American politics. You have historical committees as well. So I remember one of my close friends was in a committee about the communist revolution in China. And like all of these topics are just, you become so passionate about it as you learn. So that's something that really comes out of MUN. And like for me, I didn't realize that I liked public speaking, that I liked learning about international affairs until I joined this club. And like now I'm like planning to go to college studying international affairs. So this is something that's really good for introducing a whole world of new topics to you guys. You also get to meet new people from other schools all over the world. So I've met people from China, Latin America, so like Cuba, Puerto Rico, Mexico, India. And this is extremely fun because you get to interact with like all of these people from other countries, and you get to see how their program is like. And like you also get to meet extremely successful and just very intellectual people and engage in intellectual conversation with them. So like I have very close friends who've actually served in the nation, and they're on like the committee on the status of women. They've worked for NGOs. I have a friend who went to the Middle East last summer and helped refugees. And like these are all people that I've met in MUN. So again, like you have these very driven people that you get to interact with and be inspired by. And I just want to point out, like in this picture here, this was during the George Washington University hosted MUN conference, and I'm still very close with all of these people in this picture. The leftmost one came from a place in Africa, so international. And the rightmost one currently goes to Harvard, and I actually met up with him like when I went on like college visiting trips. So these are people that I talk to like on a regular basis, and this was my freshman year. So it's been 4 years, and we're still very close friends. So this really helps build friendships and build connections. And like, obviously MUN is a lot of fun. It might seem intimidating because I'm saying like it's a competition, it's very competitive, you need to, you know, learn all these skills, but when you really get down to it, it's about having fun with like new people, meeting new people, you know, talking about things that you're interested in, and basically having 4 whole days or 1 whole day to engage in this huge discussion about things and talk to other people, figure out what their lives are like, all of that. Okay, so going on to like the specifics of what I'm planning for this course. So this is going to be a 10-week lesson thing. The first week, I'm going to talk about just kind of an introduction into the specifics of what MUN is. I'll talk about what the format of debate is. So there's a lot of different motions that are going to be made. There's a lot of different types of debate. There's different types of speaking. And like, that's all what I'm going to cover in week 1. And then week 2, we're going to start our first topic, which is going to be the legitimacy of drone strikes. And then I'm also going to cover research strategies, which is a huge part in MUN. That's the first step that you have to take, is being able to research your country, research your position, research any solutions and all of the problems in this. And like in MUN, you don't represent yourself. You represent a country. So sometimes you have to be able to argue for a point that you don't necessarily agree with. And that might seem difficult, but it's actually very educational. And you really get to see a different side of the topic. So yeah, in the third week, I'm going to cover giving speeches, how to give them, what different types there are again, and we're going to practice doing that again on the same topic. On week 4, I'm going to cover leaderships and basically being able to interact with other people, and that's again on the same topic. In week 5, I'm going to cover something that's called clause writing, and this is the solutions that I was talking about, the solutions to solving the topic. And basically, MUN solutions are written in a really strange way, and it's very particular, and the formatting is very particular. So that's something that I'm going to cover in the 5th week. And these solutions are especially important in the competition because it shows your judge that you've done a lot of research, and you have very creative and innovative solutions. In the 6th week, I'm going to cover Q&A, which was in that picture that I showed you beforehand, and the topic's going to be on drug trafficking. So like the illegal trade of drugs. In the 7th week, I'm going to cover mergers, and this is something very complicated that happens after you present all of your solutions in your little group. You have to come together with another group and basically combine your papers and make it into one. And you still want to come out as the leader on top of that. So that's something that I'll teach in the 7th week. In the 8th week, I'm going to talk about passing resolutions. So like the voting, any changes that you want to make after you've turned it in, how to make speeches on it. And then the new topic will be protecting civilians in insurgency war zones. So that's kind of talking about like places like Syria and like how to make sure that the people there are safe. In the 9th week, I'm going to talk about MUN teams. So that's a more localized high school, middle school approach to this. And then in the 10th week, it's going to be the conclusion. We'll have a mock competition. and we'll see how that goes. So yeah, basically that's the gist of MUN. I'd say that this is an extremely valuable club, and it really offers a lot in regards to skill, in regards to just kind of like making yourself a more well-rounded and like educated person. And it doesn't matter if you think that like you're not comfortable speaking in public, or like you don't think that you're the kind of person who is able to lead a large group of people, because I think that's how everyone kind of starts out. Like the confidence to be a leader and to speak fluently and eloquently comes with time, and it comes with practice in this competition. And this is definitely something that's able to speed up the ability to do so. And like these skills are so valuable in life, even beyond just like college. Like in school, it's so helpful with like presentations, with Harkness tables. I don't know if a lot of your schools use it, but it's kind of just like a table-wide discussion. You get graded on the discussion, and like being able to speak publicly and know a lot about what's happening in the world really, really comes in handy in those situations. So yeah, here's my email if any of you guys want to contact me. It's diana.kai.tang. Yeah, does anyone have any questions?
Can you post your email in the chat?
Yes, I can. I know I sped through that a lot, like really quickly. So if there's any questions at all, feel free to let me know. Nothing?
Yes, Diana, thank you so much for sharing your experience. It's wonderful. And I do have a question regarding the location. Like, we are not in Princeton area. We're in California, actually. So after the class, what's your suggestion for the next step? Where can we find a team that we probably can go to the competition?
Yeah, so I know there are a lot in California. Mira Costa is a high school in that area, which is extremely excellent at MUN. So Mira Costa. I'm not 100% sure, but it's very likely that they have a one-day conference. For the more formal 4-day university ones, Berkeley hosts one for sure. I'm not too sure about any of the other ones. I think Stanford holds one.
Okay, Costa. How to spell Mira Costa? Can you?
Yeah, I can put it in the chat.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, since I'm thinking that it is really useful. Thank you so much. So then after that, we need to do something to actually practice the skills.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
No problem. Anything else?
Yeah. Hey, Diana. Basically, I think it would also be beneficial for the co-coaches here to actually like give introductions of themselves.
Yeah.
Or to like introduce ourselves.
Yeah. Do you guys want to speak up?
Yeah, another very good news that besides Coach Diana give us once a week lecture, and we have a practice club. Do we have Justin's here? Justin, are you here? No.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to, Diana? Do you mind let Justin introduce about his club?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Hi, so I'm Justin, and so I'll share.
Justin, do you want to introduce your team members?
Yeah. So I'm
Thank you.
Justin, and so I'll be running like the clubs with Alan, Sunny, and then also Raymond. And so basically we'll have 2 sessions each week, both covering like the same material each week. And so we'll have a club on Tuesday, which Raymond and I think will be running. And then we will have another class on Thursday, which Sunny and Alan will be running. Does Raymond or Sunny have anything to add?
Yeah, would you mind to turn on your video to let people know you guys?
Hey guys.
Hi Raymond, how are you?
Hello. All right.
Mhm.
So hey, I'm Raymond. I recognize a few familiar names here that are from my school. I don't know all of you, but I'm very excited to teach you about Model UN, and I'm really happy to share my experience with all of you. So yeah, Justin and I will be running the Tuesday club, and basically for my experience, I was actually part of the practice club, and let me just say it was a very wonderful experience. I learned a lot about Model UN, how to write resolutions and everything, how to research, how to stand up in front of an audience in order to give a really great speech. And all of those techniques, I think, really helped me a lot and really propelled me through large parts of my public speaking career. And I've stayed with PLE, Princeton Learning Experience, for over 2 years now, and it's really been a wonderful experience. I look forward to working with all of you.
Sunny, you have anything?
Okay. Hi, I'm Sunny, and I'm a freshman. And I've been with PLE I think since last year around winter. And I was also like same as Raymond. I was in the MUN like club, and I like sometimes help Justin with like leading it. And like the MUN club, it was like really fun because like you could like go to like I think it was like Tuesdays and Thursday clubs, and then like you could have like mini um like kind of like debates talking about your topic, and then you really get to, it's kind of like an independent thing where you like research a lot by yourself, and you have to like write like your country background and also like a resolution. So I think like it shows like you learn a lot about responsibility, and it's really fun. And like MUN itself is just like a really fun type of public speaking to try out.
Yeah, okay. So since Diana went over most of like the
Excuse me, Justin. Sorry for interrupting. Do we have Alan here?
I don't think Alan could make it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So I think Diana went over most of the Model UN, like what you do and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna give a brief overview of how the club is gonna work and how we're gonna split the clubs. Okay, so our schedule. So basically, we're gonna split our schedule into a 10-week schedule, 10 weeks, and then we're gonna split that again into 4 different subcategories. So we're gonna have an introduction week, and then we're gonna spend the rest of the weeks on 3 different topics, and we'll spend 3 weeks on each topic. And then so for the first week, or for at least the club that me and Raymond are running, I'm not sure if Sunny and Alan are doing the same thing, but for Raymond and I, we're going to be covering how Model UN works, and so some of the topics we'll be covering are parliamentary procedure, moderated and unmoderated caucuses, which are like the debates inside Model UN, resolutions, which I think Diana touched on, which are like basically like kind of like the laws that we pass in Model UN. And then so there's a lot of stuff that we'll be going over the first week that I'm sure that Diana will also go over in the classes. And then for the second week, third week and fourth week, which is the first topic, I'm thinking that we should cover climate change. So just to start off with a pretty well-known topic. And so the first week, students will they'll have opening speech prepared, and they'll present it to the rest of the students, and each student will be assigned a different country. And so this way, students can learn not only about their own country, but about other countries and what they think about policies and stuff like that. Then the next week after that, we're going to do debates, so moderated and unmoderated caucuses. So basically, like, you're going to be giving 1 minute or like 30-second speeches on specific topics inside of climate change. So basically, like, what kind of energy should be used? Like, should there be punishment if people don't adhere to the guidelines or something like that? So this is basically where you discuss and try to organize together as a collective group and like put your ideas together. And then so the last week, we're gonna have you write resolutions, and then we're gonna present them. So basically, this is where you guys try to compile your ideas together, and then share them, and then you guys will discuss them and then vote. And then so for the next 3 weeks, we're just gonna switch topics. I was thinking nuclear weapons, and basically the format's gonna be the same as before. We're just gonna get more practice with a different topic, and hopefully everybody does better this time around. And then topic 3, I was thinking that the students would be able to choose some topic they wanted that might be more fun for them. And then basically the overall format would still be pretty much the same. So I don't know if Raymond has anything to add, or Sunny.
So just as Justin and Diana have said before, this is all through practice. Like, I know what it feels like to be a beginner in MUN, and I remember a long way back when I was first starting MUN, like I first started joining this class and club. And it's all through practice. It's all going through repetitions of what you're doing, looking over your resolution, and really just making yourself push forward and trying to realize the mistakes you're making and then improving upon them. And this is all learning experience, because MUN definitely might seem intimidating at first, but as you go through, let's say, moderated and unmoderated caucuses and discussions, you will see how Model UN works, and you'll be able to get accustomed to it.
Yeah. So does anyone have any questions about the club?
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Is the club going to be online or is it?
Can you repeat that?
Yes, so can you also state your name? Kevin?
Yeah, I'm Kevin.
Okay.
So, is the club going to be online? Or
Yeah. So
okay.
just like the classes, we're gonna meet Tuesdays and Thursdays. I think it's at 8 o'clock, and so it'd be on Zoom also. So like just like what we're doing right now.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, I have a really quick question. Is that if you miss a class, how do I catch up on the things that I missed?
Okay. Yeah, good question. So I'm thinking, because each class we're gonna have homework, and basically, we're gonna post the homework onto the WeChat group, and then also maybe like a summary of what we did that club day, and then I'm hoping that if we can get everybody's emails for the club, like whoever joins the club, if we get their emails, I can also send an email every week detailing what we did and what the homework is.
Let me add on, Ida. If for each class, we're gonna do the class recording, and this is for makeup purpose. If you need the recording to make it up, then we can send the link to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I have one more thing to add. basically our primary method of contact will most likely be through email and also through the WeChat group. So make sure to check those frequently.
And Jean Sandra is my email. WeChat name. So you can add me as friend, and you can get a lot of detailed information there.
Maybe we should post all our emails in the chat, like the coaches.
Dan and Justin, do you let people know that we need to let them use a Google document to share our homework? Is the requirement from you, Diana?
I don't think there has to be a requirement to share that on Google Drive. I think for any homework that I'm going to be assigning, it's fine to either email it or like put it on Google Drive. But yeah, I don't think there's like a necessity to have to.
Yeah, hi. I have a question for Diana. So the
Earlier.
Earlier. Oh, okay. Yeah, earlier. So the Miracosta is a college or is a high school?
Miracosta is a high school. So I'd say the only reason why I know of it is because I compete with them a lot on the East Coast. So they actually fly over for a lot of the really big conferences, and they are very good. So yeah.
So if we are not the student of that school, can we join their team, like MUN team?
Yeah, I don't think you could. But I put their name down because I'm suspecting, like I would guess that they have their own MUN conference. They have their own competition. So I think the idea with like an MUN team, and I'll like get deeper into this during my classes, but if you don't have one, the best way to make a team is honestly just to create a club in your school, and like to get a bunch of people together. So like that will require a process, and it's different for every school. But for what I know, you kind of have to like fill out a form, give it to the principal, get it checked. Or you can also compete in MUN conferences as an individual. So you sign up as yourself.
Okay.
So that also works.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Then I have a question for you. If our student prepare for, can we help them to? The student from our class, do we can we help them to prepare for the conference?
Yeah, I definitely be willing to help them prepare for conferences. Yeah, I think it's fine. Like if they have a specific assignment that they've already been given, I'm fine to alter my plan in any way to help that. I also saw someone said in the chat, what is the age requirement? I don't believe there is an age requirement. In competitions though, the youngest I've seen is like 6th grade. And that goes all the way up to 12th grade. So this is for 1-day and 4-day conferences. And then obviously like the college circuit is a completely separate thing. So yeah.
Then this is another question. Do you offer classes in summertime? So this is all on you.
I guess it would depend. I haven't looked that far into the future yet.
So it means your summer schedule is not coming out yet.
Yeah, I'm still not 100% sure what I'm doing over the summer.
Okay.
But this is going until like June-ish. So yeah, we'll see.
Okay. 那我们的家长们还有其他问题吗？如果你们希望用中文问也可以，我们这些孩子们其实他们都听得懂中文。好，那我们是还有20分钟，欢迎大家就是说尽量的多问问题。Sunny, do you have something to add on?
So like I know from like past experiences, there's been like a lot of students who are like they're like really shy and they feel like kind of I guess like uncomfortable and I guess like such a open environment. But I feel like of course like your personality is being like more of an introvert, but then like through time, like even through like I've seen people in the MUN club that they were like really quiet, but then like after like the first 2 weeks they started to talk a lot and then they like really showed like what they had inside, which is really I guess shocking because you never really see that much into a person. But I think like that's what makes like public speaking special because it's not just for people who are loud or extroverted, but like it's for like a holistic type of people.
I want to share a screen to you. Let me do it. 那这是我们上一个summer time 我们做的 Model UN Club. Some work is from I think which one? This one is from Sunny, right? And Raymond's. 那他们先是做 for Model UN Club， 他们先做代表一个国家，然后做一个 poster， 让我们就是说给一个那个 general introduction about the country. And then 呢，他们也每个人呢都就是代表这个国家的。他们在做一个 audio 的那个国家的 introduction， 然后这是这些同学们做的。那Sunny， 你想不想再给我们就是比较详细介绍一下去年我们做的那个club 的事情
Okay.
We'll stop sharing this.
So like in MUN for like each topic, you're like assigned a country. And I know from last year, we had to make a poster with some like facts, let's say like the president of the country, its current like status, population, and etc. And then you also had to make a recording, which you would record from your country's background report, where you would talk a lot about like what's in the country right now and how like they feel about like the current like topic. Like let's say if the topic was on like nuclear weapons, then you would talk about in this recording what the country feels about nuclear weapons, whether they support it or they don't support it. So this is really effective because for people who don't really understand in depth about every single country in this topic, it really helps to see how other countries deal with these issues and what they support and what they don't support. So then you can kind of find like a country that you can pair up with or someone that you don't agree with. Yeah.
那去年就是Raymond 做的那个你的那个格式，我觉得特别喜欢，你能给大家介绍一下吗？
So basically, I followed the format of a traditional Model UN paper. So basically, I was very nitpicky with this, and I remember having like to adjust the format and everything on Google Docs and Word. So basically, I had numbers in columns on the left side. Basically, I wrote out my resolution in the center of the paper. I described like I really listed the details of my solutions. Basically, every tangible aspect of it. Like I had to be very thorough with how my solutions would actually play out and how people would think of my solutions. Because obviously, when you're writing a resolution, you have to think about the impact of it and also what other people will probably constructively criticize it. Like basically, oh, that might not actually work out because of yada yada yada. So you just really have to be very considerate when you were writing a resolution paper.
Justin, do you have something to add on?
Basically what Raymond just said. What he had as a format was pretty good. It's actually what people look for as a resolution. It's really well thought out. So a lot of what you do in Model UN is a process, like writing the speeches in the beginning and then also the debates. It takes a long time to get used to, but once you get used to it, it's pretty fun and it's really rewarding.
那我们现在还有10几分钟，然后我们是 Q&A session。如果有家长或者同学有问题的话，那我们现在几位同学都是包括Coach Dana available to answer your questions。
对，各位家长，我们现在我们这些学生都会说中文，所以呢，你们可以用中文问，也可以用英文问。
Raymond，你好棒啊！我都不知道你中文有这么好。
你哪个更方便一点，你就用。
那我们的课是下周开始，4月9号，对吧 ，Diana？ 对。
Yep。
现在大概也没有几个名额了，报得很快。OK， 那大家就是关于这个课和就是我们的 club 和课是同期的，就是说4月9号第一周的课开始，然后 the following week every Tuesday and Thursday 我们的 club 就同步开始。所以家长如果有兴趣或者有什么问题关于我们的课程的安排都可以现在可以问。然后我们上课也是用这个269834780的这个 Zoom ID， 如果你们在 login 啊或者是使用上有什么问题也可以基本上来找我就可以了。那关于 Model UN 的事情呢，找我们这些 professionals。我呢基本上就是做那个 backstage support。
那个 Sandra 听见我讲话吗
？I know you。哎呀，我听得见。
我有一个问题，就是说现在学生如果是都在不同的地方
，OK，
那么他们是不是有一个定期的或者是什么时间要有一个就是说大家聚到一起，有这样的安排吗？还是说都是通过这个 Zoom 进行交流啊，然后上课呀
？So far 呢，我们是这样的，都是用 Zoom， 包括 practice， 我们有 once a week 的 class， 那 by Coach Diana， 然后呢，有这个 club， 我 twice a week。但是我们现在想做的就是说，因为刚才 Diana 也说了，其实呢，它可以帮我们，就是我们这些老师和同学们都会帮我们找那个当地的一些 conference。如果能够找到当地的 conference， 然后经过我们的 training， 其实孩子们是可以有机会那个报一些 conference， 然后 practice 一下，就是有一些实战经验。那 Coach Diana, do you want to introduce this coming 23? You're gonna go to Cornell, right? You're kind of any conference experience?
Yeah, I guess just like the conferences, the 4-day ones that I've gone to. So these are the university ones. My school is like one of the high-ranking MUN teams, so we like to go to the very, very competitive ones. So those are the ones hosted by like this year we went to Princeton, UPenn, and Georgetown. And yeah, we're going to go to Cornell later this month, actually. And like this is basically just 4 days of just constant competition. But it feels very, very fun because you're with all of your friends and you're doing this. And like, one thing that we do at our school is we always mark it like, oh, you want to miss 2 days of school, like you get to miss Thursday and Friday for an excused absence in our school, because it's a school competition. And like it's, if you're on an MUN team, it's very, very fun because you get to spend time with them in like a basically a competition where you get to always be working together and helping each other. And in the free time, MUN conferences have things called delegate dances, and they usually have different specific events. So Georgetown's has something called the ice cream social. So you literally just get to go in and eat ice cream with all of your friends. Delegate dance is kind of just, it's kind of like a party. They give you soda and like cookies, and like they play music. What else do they have? They usually just have little social times where you can just spend time with your friends, and that's the off time you have from the competition and such. So those are very, very fun. I just did some searching up. So like for those of you who are in California, Mira Costa does have an MUN conference. It's called MCHS-MUN. I can like wherever you are, I can make sure that I find like good conferences for you to go to, because I know what the very competitive high schools are, and I have a lot of alumni friends who are now running university MUN conferences. I guess just like another comment that I'd like to add is that a lot of people see MUN because it's MUN is the kind of competition where you do have to be a leader, and you have to try to make people listen to you and respect you, and a lot of times for some people that just translate more easily into like male dominated, like aggressive talking. And that's why I think it is all the more important for like people who don't typically see themselves as that kind of person to join MUN. Because I think Sunny talked about this earlier, but MUN is a very, you have to be very diverse in what you can do. You have to be able to learn how to, be social and connect with people. You have to learn how to be formal and be someone who people can be like, oh, I really, really respect them, and I respect that they have a lot of knowledge. You have to be intelligent and hardworking. So you have to, like be able to toss around complicated words like, I don't know, comparative advantage, farmers co-ops, and just, like be able to understand how they're used. So that's part of the research and the intelligence. It's like you really have to be a well-rounded person in MUN. And I think like, especially for like now people are turning a lot more to STEM, and focusing on, like the math and sciences are going to get people far. And like, I think like, yeah, like math, science, that's definitely extremely valuable now in like the current economy. But like, I honestly think that like those skills bring you nowhere if you don't know how to communicate your ideas and to sell your own skill set, and to sell like basically yourself to companies, to sell your own products after you're in the working field. So like I think that like MUN is extremely valuable in that like it's not just for people who want to go into humanities. It's not just for people who want to study international relations or law or I don't know, like stuff in that field. Like MUN is also for people who really enjoy science and really enjoy math. So I remember there was I don't remember exactly what it was, but there was a committee I was in that was about economics, and somebody brought up to a speech his graphing calculator, and a graph that he printed out, and he showed us a logarithmic function of something that he figured out, and everyone was like, whoa, you're so smart. And those are the kinds of things that you can do in MUN. You can cross discipline, and like you can like use specific things that you are passionate about and tie them in to these topics. So there's a lot of committees in MUN that are very science specific as well. I've been in a CERN committee, which is specific to, it's like a European science organization. So we were talking on end about like how to cure AIDS and all of like the science behind vaccines. And like, again, it's like MUN, it's public speaking, but it's also like other things that you can be passionate about. So like, it's not just for people who are like, oh, I love global affairs, I love politics. It's also for people who are like, oh, I love Native American history. I love like nuclear energy. I like science. I like math. Like it's really for all different kinds of interests. So,
yeah. Then how do you see the difference between Model UN and a debate?
Yeah, so for me, debate, it's very much structured. It's something that you can really, really sit down, research for, prep for, and you stand up there, and it's based solely upon your public speaking skills. MUN, you have to do a lot outside of talking. We have unstructured time, so like there's times where you have to like give speeches, and then an unmoderated caucus is basically when everyone's kind of on a break, but you have to go around and like try to talk to people, try to figure out what they're interested in, and try to convince people to work with you. And like there's a lot more socializing that has to go on, and like people skills that have to be developed, which I think really sets MUN apart from just pure debate. Like MUN is like debate plus like socializing plus writing plus researching. Like it's a lot more complicated, I'd say.
Hi Diana. So I was wondering, like, how do you actually get into an MUN competition? Is it like if your school has a club for it, does the club go there like as a group? Or if like your school doesn't have one, so you want to go as an individual, do you have to sign up somehow or?
Yeah, so obviously it's easier if you do have a club, because then you can just join the club. They'll figure it all out for you, basically. If you want to go in as an individual, you literally just do a Google search. So like, if let's say you wanted to go to the Ivy League MUN conference, you'd search it up. It's usually the first thing that comes up. It's their official website. And there's always a link that's about registering. So you can register, just fill out the form on the website. You register as an individual. And like the amount, you always have to, yeah, like you do have to pay money to get into these conferences. But I don't believe it is that much if you are going as an individual. So yeah, it's all done through the website.
All right, so it's just you just have to register on their website.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you so much, guys. Do you have more questions?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, sure.
I have a question because my son is still young. He's in middle school. I'm kind of curious about Model UN. What is the format of this competition? And you get a topic ahead of the competition or on spot, and you have the topic and you on spot, you make the speech, like the solution come out, or is that the way, before the competition you're assigned a topic, so basically when you go to the competition you give out the solution, you debate, and during the competition it's like a PPT kind of format or it's a poster format?
Okay, so yeah. About the topic, you actually are able to get the topic like probably a good couple months ahead of time. And then after you register, they will try to give you your country as soon as they can. So you do have a lot of time to do research. Depending on the committee that you are put in, usually they give you 2 topics. So you have to research those 2 topics. And then when you get into the competition, you debate on which topic you guys actually want to choose, and then you can do that. But you do have time to prepare ahead of time, unless you are in a special committee called the ad hoc, in which you find out basically the day of. But that's like, most people don't do that. That's like extremely special case scenario. What's the second part? Oh, the format of debate. So yeah, MUN is very much not like a debate competition in that it doesn't really have a debate format. So like in most debate things, you go like, oh, like pro con or something like that. In MUN, the format is kind of determined by the delegates who are there. So if, like I think that we should be making speeches on this thing, I will raise my hand and be like, motion for a Monterey caucus talking about like drug trafficking in Latin America. And like people will vote on whether they want to make speeches on that. And then people go up. So honestly, it's kind of unstructured in a way. You kind of just do what you think you want to do.
Thank you.
那我们再给家长几分钟的时间，如果没有问题的话，那我们的这些小老师、小同学们就可以回去写作业了。Diana，你现在还忙不忙？
还有一点点忙吧，没有太忙。
最舒服的哈，最舒服的半年。Just enjoy. Thank you so much, Diana wants to contribute her valuable time to us. I really appreciate it. Last summer, we really did very good job in Mother UN, both club and class, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm so honored that Diana and our club teams can come back to us again. 那我们再给大家差不多2-3分钟的时间，如果没有问题的话，那我们的这个 meeting 就结束了。然后之后我会在这儿，如果大家在那个 registration 这方面有什么问题，我会stay after.
All right, well, I'm Sarah and I'm from California, and I just wanted to thank you guys for doing this, and thank you so much, Diana, for sharing your experience. And it was nice seeing Sunny and Raymond again since last time I did it with them. And yeah.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I guess Sunny has a lot of homework to do, right? You're always busy there. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Now, Diana, Justin, Raymond, and Sunny, thank you for your time. I know you're all very busy.
Oh, you're very welcome. Very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
那我呢会在这儿再待10分钟。如果大家有问题，就是about the registration 或者是 contacting， 那大家可以再 come to me. OK， 那 bye Diana, bye Raymond， 谢谢你们，谢谢你们。我知道你们都非常忙。
All right, bye.
Bye bye. See you next week. See you guys next week.
Yeah, bye.
Bye bye. Thank you. 好，那现在家长如果要有什么问题，可以就是跟我联系。那我这边的 registration form， 不过我们马上可能要满了，就是我们只能 take the first 8。那后边报的同学就只能是在 waiting。
哎，你过来会说话，你帮我一下啊。Sandra, this is
小叶付小叶是吧？
对，能听到我吧？
我可以听到。我这样，我先把我的那个 contact。
我想问一下，我登没登记上？因为这样我好给你付钱。你要是已经满了，
我看一下啊，我看一下，我们现在有几个人？我看有你们，我查一下啊 ，Model UN 的 club. This is Model UN 的Model UN 现在有9个。我看看啊，你这小孩叫什么名？
Harrelson
啊，你是 the last one， 小叶富。
对，我刚给。
对，那他们，我想现在就是付钱的同学可能还没有达到8个。
啊
OK，
我今天晚上配泡的话，
你好，
你好，你好，
喂，
刚才谁在跟我说话？我在这儿。
能听见吗？
我听得见，你是哪一位？我没看见。
刚才那个前面大部分都是我那个时间搞错了，我没上。然后我就想问一下，如果想要给那个注册的话，应该怎么弄？
我现在
上课的
我现在有一个注册的 link， 不过我们马上就满了。我先把这个 link 发给你啊，你其实可以看到，就是那个，你看到那个 link 了吗 ？Google Document、Google Form
在哪里啊？在那个微信
就在那个
里面吗？
你现在是用手机上的，是不是？在那个 chatting box 里。
OK， 在哪里？我没找见。
chatting box 就是那个
Zoom 的 chatting 吗？在哪个 chatting 里面？
就是现在的这个 Zoom 的。
因为我不在哪里，应该在。